Holy smokes, guys. Just wait until you see this brand new app that literally shows you everything underneath the water. Yes, underneath the water. It's like radar and sonar on steroids, and it's all part of our Smart Fishing Spots app. This is the new app. We've been working on this thing forever, and it actually has everything you need all in one. So you can delete all your other fishing apps. You're literally going to have everything from the wind and the weather and the tides and the radar and the sonar and the satellite maps all into one app. And when you see this underwater version, you are going to be absolutely blown away. It is going to give you more fishing spots than you ever imagined. It's going to help you see exactly what's under the water wherever you might be. And it is going to give you next level advantage over the fish and your fishing buddies. The best news, it's completely for free. Just one more reason to join the Insider Club. If you're a current member, get ready. It is coming to you soon. And if you're not, what the heck are you waiting for? Join the Salt Strong Insider Club today. Hope to see you in the club and enjoy this episode.
This fishing, it's in my soul.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
Hello, Salt Strong Nation. Joe Simons, like diamonds, back again. Got my boy Wyatt back from a beach fishing course just filmed with none other than Bama Beach Bomb. What's up, Matthew?
Hey guys, glad to be here.
So I heard the word miraculous thrown around. I heard the word just like unprecedented. And if you guys don't know, it just seems to be anytime we go out there and film a master course. I think this is number 30. Like we have that many courses in our library, if you will, of our mastery courses. These are full on like the best of the best. And every time we go do one, for the most part, it's like the fish know we're out there with cameras and we need to get some fish footage. And I remember the first couple courses we had, like we couldn't get a bite, and the courses still did well because it was more about, the techniques. It was about finding the fish, right? And the same with this beach fishing course. It's all about finding the best spot, finding that 90-10 zone, right? Because you can have all the liveliest live bait and you can have a billion sand fleas, but if you're in an area where there's no fish, it's going to be tough to get tight lines. But with this one, I got a call from Wyatt and Bama Beach Bomb right after they were wrapping up the last day. And they're like, you won't believe this. Like we went out like 4 or 5 different days, and every day we caught fish. We caught fish we weren't even trying to catch, like little toonies. I mean, just craziness. I saw the footage, by the way, of that. Like that's nuts. So I was like, all right, we got to share some of the lessons learned. I think Wyatt's going to pull up some of the B-roll, got some really epic drone footage. And but more than anything, talk about some of the lessons learned and just kind of share the story of what happened. And then we'll also, this is of course going to be a little bit of a teaser towards the end, teasing the day that this course will launch. This is one that you do not want to miss. So who wants to start? Crazy stories. Tell what the heck happened while you guys were there.
Yeah, I can start. And just there was a lot of pressure on me, that not from you guys at all, but just internally to produce and to do this well. And so I leading up to it, I had a lot of anxiety because you just, like you said, with fishing, there's no guarantees. And we even had talked, and Wyatt had tried to calm me down a little bit. And he's like, obviously we're teaching, and if we don't catch fish, that's okay. And I have a lot of fish catching footage. Obviously, I film every day I'm fishing. So anything, honestly, that we really would have needed, we could have pulled and added it in there. But I mean, how much more valuable is it when you're teaching something and saying, hey, this is how to do it, breaking it down. This is the best way to approach it. This is where fish should be. And they're actually there.
Yeah, and here's some proof this works, right?
Yeah. Like we're live action teaching and documenting that this works and that what we're telling you is factual. It just backs up the information so much better. But to go out as many times as we did and be successful in that way, even if we had perfect weather conditions and everything, you don't expect that at all. Like, that's just fishing. You just never expect to go out there and have that many. I think 4 or 5 sessions where we successfully caught our target species, or the false albacore. I'm not going to say was a target. We said that was more of an upgrade. We were targeting Spanish, but it's a similar approach. But we still were able to document the techniques and the process of catching those fish and how you catch those fish. It's a similar way, but it was way cooler catching the bonita, and especially the footage we got with it. It's incredible.
Yeah, and if you guys are wondering, and like, hey, well, why is it hard to catch fish while you're teaching? Well, I'll use the knot example. If you've watched our knot videos, Luke can tie that FG knot in under like 51 seconds all day long. And yet the FG knot video that's got like 7 million views, it was like a 9-minute video, right? Because when you're teaching anything, you slow it down. You're not going to do it at your pace because it's natural to Bama Beach Foam to go out there and just whip the thing out. But you're slowing the whole process down, teaching everything. And the fact you guys caught, how many different species? Did you guys even count?
Gosh, I want to say 5, maybe 6. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something around that range. Yeah. Just to, like, as we are teaching, like, we're in the middle of a cut and it's like, oh, we've got fish right here. And it's like, it's not teaching. Now it's turning into, this is catching. So I want to say 5 or 6 species.
So cool. Wyatt, what was a big aha moment for you?
Man, a big aha moment. Number one, having him there to kind of, as a lot of us have gone through fishing, we found a mentor that can kind of show you how it's supposed to be done. And then when you go out there, you do it on your own, you kind of see that all come together. The veteran knowledge meets practice. So it was cool to go out there and film and see Matthew, just do these things. And then I'd kind of poke him and prod him. I'd say, go ahead and get set up first day. I tried not to do too much of all right, tell me what you're doing right now. I watched him just kind of get set up the first day and do certain things. And I made notes and I said, all right, why did you do this? Why did you do that? And to have him kind of rack his brain and say, oh, I do this for this reason. It's stuff that as we talked, it seemed like was second nature for him that a lot of us would gloss over. And I think the biggest aha moment for me was you hear about, especially with beach fishing certain types of features like troughs. And we were after a very specific species, and learning that, as we go through this course, you'll realize the species that we cover, each of them really does have a specific type of feature that they favor, and that it's very easy to target that specific species at that feature. I'll give whiting as the example because I have some really cool drone footage, and I'll actually pull that up right now.
Oh,
I have So what was really cool about this day was you guys can see our spread right here. You guys can see my mouse. Our spread is right here on the right. We've got 4 rods set up, and we're fishing this trough right here with a sandbar. So number one, to just see this from a different perspective was a aha moment for me. Like, oh,
look how clearly defined that is. It looks like an interstate. It's it's perfect.
Oh yeah. And that's not something you think of, because it's like, oh, how do you even spot a sandbar, which we go into in the course. We've got, so you guys can walk out to a beach and read and see what's going on, and knowing what that looks like, because you're going to have the perspectives in the course of what a trough looks like, how fish are going to travel down it, and how you can position your spread. What's really cool is in this footage, you're going to actually see right over where my mouse is, there's a school of whiting hanging right on the edge of that trough. And you'll see here in a second, Matthew's rod doubles over where the rig was in front of that school of whiting. He's running over to go grab it right
cool.
now.
I can see it.
Yeah. And he's pulling that whiting right there. You can see him fighting it to the beach. It's to have it all come together in the perspective of, and there he is landing it right there, right on the beach. It was a really nice whiting too. But to have the combination of stuff I heard for years, oh, go fish troughs or go fish in front of this bar on this incoming tide, to see how these fish hold on that structure was, and then for him to catch fish right there with the drone up, and just to have it all put together in one spot, which I've never seen before. I've seen reading the beach videos. I've seen fish catching videos. I've seen videos where people talk tactics about catching fish after they've read the beach. Have it all in one spot gives me so much more confidence to go out there and do it. And this is not just the whiting. We got this with the pompano as well. We did it with the redfish. We did it with the bonita. It was like, to have all the concepts and show what those structures look like on a drone, it was incredible. It was really phenomenal. Unfortunately, I didn't get the bonita on the drone. I think that was the only spot that we didn't get the footage, just because they were moving so fast. There was no way I could have even kept up with the drone. But that was probably, in terms of standing on the beach, some of the coolest footage I got. Just because you could see them. I didn't need a drone. You could see them very clearly as I was standing there following them with the camera, running in schools. You could count the fish in the school. One of them, I think Matthew, he called it out right in the footage. One of them hit like 2 feet from where the waves were breaking. I zoomed in. You could see the fish chasing the spoon. You didn't even need a drone at that point.
So cool. How tough was it, Wyatt, for you not to want to run your hands through Bama Beach Bum's hair?
Oh man, I'll tell you what, we talked about this a lot, and it was not specifically running the hands, but just making sure the hair looked right.
Yeah, I did bring it up. So check my hair.
Yeah. And so if you invest in this course, you'll get the extra footage of all the bad hair takes of Bama Beach Bum. So
there weren't many.
That's right. Before every take, you see this. It's the hand focus.
Oh, love it, man. What about you, Matthew? I'm curious because this is the first kind of like full on like masterclass. Like, I know you're in front of the camera a lot and you're doing tons of videos, but what did you learn as you're teaching it, right? So it's one thing to be the YouTuber, the entertainment side, and you're obviously still trying to give some tips, but when you're flat out like just teaching and trying to take all of your years and all of these days of being on the water, all this experience, and trying to boil it down into a super easy and like comprehensive course. Like, did you have any like aha moments or like, oh man, like I wish someone had told me this when I first started?
Yeah. What was eye-opening for me with Wyatt there prodding me constantly to explain what I'm doing, asking why, and to be more thorough, I realized that there is so much information and details that I do just gloss over, and trying to teach all that, there's just so much information. I told him, I think, and thinking back, that you could probably only find, maybe if you went through my entire channel, watched every single video, you might only even find 30% of the information that we cover in this course, because there is just so much detail and information that we give about this that I never, like he said, it becomes this second nature, just little minor things, but that make a difference and that people would like to know. And that's really going to change how they approach things. That's going to make them more successful and save time and energy and effectiveness and things that I just have come to do in my fishing. It's hard. It is a hard thing. Like you said, I make videos and I talk to people and I give a tidbit of information, but it is a hard thing to just formulate exactly what you do and why you do it. So it was very helpful to have Wyatt there to be the one asking all those questions and helping me regurgitate that information.
That's what we do. I mean, it's why every time we do a course, we have a Wyatt, or it's been me many cases, and we put our hat on of not someone who's never like fished at all, but someone who loves fishing and is just not where they want to be, and they want to be more consistent. And you ask those questions, why? Why'd you do that? Why that? It's like my son right now. He's 5. He's trying to tie his shoe, right? To us, it's so easy. It's like, oh yeah, just do the little loop swoop and pull it in. Like, but no, like he needs a step-by-step process, right? To him, it's not that easy. To me, it's like, how can you not get this? And then all of a sudden, one day he sees me do it enough and I slow it down enough. And he's getting it now. He's like, oh, I get it. This is pretty intuitive. So I'm so pumped to see it. I do think that drone stuff, to me, that's where I learned the most, because obviously, I mean, you just shared that one. I don't know if you have any other ones you can pull up, Wyatt, but
I don't want to share too much.
But even just just kind of giving people an idea of all the things that you can see from a bird's eye view, man, it's game changing. You still have the ability to hopefully. Okay, cool. Yeah, I feel like you can learn so much on that. And obviously you have the angle as well, where you're actually filming Matthew, fishing that area and reeling in that whiting in that case for pompano. It's so cool to see those back and forth.
It was cool seeing that school of whiting hugging so close to that bar. And I told him while we were filming this, and my explanation in the course, I'm explaining kind of different distances and why we do that. But I said, I'm going to start here. And I said where I was casting. I said, because most of the time that's where I catch fish. It's really cool to see that drone footage and like, oh, the reason I'm casting there is the school of fish is just hugging this bar up back and forth and cruising. I've never seen that, I've never seen it from that perspective. So it was interesting to get that like confirmation of, oh, I just I just walk on the beach and I'm like, oh, that's probably where they're going to be. And I cast. There's no explanation. It's just second nature to me because I've spent so much time doing it now that I just know, okay, that's probably where these fish are going to be. But to see it, explain it, understand it, watch them in their habit, it's crazy. It's really cool to see.
Well, that was one of the big things that I kind of learned from this course was that surf fishing has a lot of mystique to it. It's not like flats fishing or inshore fishing. And a lot of the things that we teach with, like the spots mastery course, it's 90-10. You can look at a map and say fish are going to be right here. What we covered in this course, a lot of it in terms of where you're going to actually find fish feeding, it's more about finding that 90-10 spot when you get out there because the beach changes weekly. You have to be able to read the beach properly and understand what's going on and how fish move because they don't sit in one spot. Those whiting, that bar that you guys saw, they were moving from the top of the screen to the bottom, and that's how they go all the way down the beach. And sometimes they'll loop back. But to show you like another example of this, here is this was one of my favorite clips. This is Matthew going out and casting for pompano. So here's another image, different sandbar, smaller sandbar, but you can see we got a trough here. And, I'm not going to reveal too much in the course, but this is one of the popular types of ways to fish for pompano. Putting your rig on the backside of a bar. You can actually see where his rig landed on the backside of that bar. So when you kind of think about what do I need to do? Where do I need to put my rig? This gives you an example of, okay, that's what the backside of the bar means. It doesn't mean just kind of on the bar or a little bit on the edge. It means get it behind that bar. And then what was really cool is let me find what happened about 50 seconds later or a minute, 30 seconds later is Matt hooks up with a pompano and you can watch him fight it in. So I just need to find that. All right, so here's where the rod goes off. If you watch in this area, you'll see that pompano flash somewhere right there. There it is, right there. You can see that's where his rig landed. And I would obviously zoom in for the course. This is unedited footage, but you can watch him fight this thing all the way in. So you see exactly where the pompano hit. The school that's running down this way, he fights it back in. And I think towards the end here, I actually have him. Oh, it's a different clip. But yeah, you can see him landing the pompano right there. Like I tried to bring different perspectives while he was fishing to how every single facet of this is done. Outside of just, what the best baits are or the, secret baits. We did have a couple that you're going to want to use for these fish. It's like, we were most concerned with showing folks exactly what they need to do when they hit the sand, because that's where it really matters the most. You can have tons of different types of equipment, tons of different types of bait, but the real tactics and perspectives and understanding what's going on is how you get consistent with it, because these fish are constantly moving around. You really need to understand where your presentation is. Zone awareness was a huge part of the course. That was a big thing. That's a whole concept, but I mean, we were creating terms for concepts because it's just stuff you've never heard talked about before.
Zone awareness. I love it. I think one of the most important things with this course, and it's the goal with all of the courses that we create, is that it's evergreen, right? That the tactics that we're teaching this are still going to be good a year and 2 and 3 and 5, 10 years from now. But number two, that it'll work anywhere, right? So I know Bama Beach Mom, you were just in Florida, use the same tactics. You don't say, oh man, I got to get all new equipment when I go down to Florida. You're using the same equipment, same stuff. Wyatt, you lived in Wilmington, North Carolina for quite a long time, and you did surf fishing. You can use these same tactics in Wilmington, North Carolina, as you can in any coast of Florida, et cetera. And that's always a question we get is, oh, well, will this work in my area? I'll let you answer that, Matthew. What will this work in my area?
Absolutely. And that was a big thing that Wyatt and myself continually talked about. And we reference, obviously, we're filming this course in an area that I'm very familiar with and that I live. But I have been fortunate enough to fish so many areas. I've fished Outer Banks, North Carolina, beach fishing using these same techniques. I've fished on the east coast of Florida. I've fished on the west coast of Florida, South Florida, North Florida. I've basically covered almost the entire east coast of Florida in my surf fishing from from what's up Jacksonville down to Miami. I mean, I've fished all along that coast. So I fortunately have had the experience to see those cultures, because every kind of fishing culture is different, and see how they approach things. We even address how, some of those differences and those minute details in this course of like, hey, this is how we do things on this area that I'm particularly fishing. But hey, let me go ahead and explain, if you were here, this is some things that you might run into and want to expect and be prepared for. We cover those things. I've fished in Cabo, San Lucas, Mexico. I mean, and all these tactics that we use apply anywhere, literally in the world, that you're going to fish a beach. These fish, obviously, there's different species and all that, but they feed and act in very similar ways. And you're going to run into predator fish, and these are tactics and things that you can use anywhere. So I'm thankful that we're filming this at a stage that I have had that experience and been able to see other parts of the world and other parts of the country and understand the differences. A lot of it's the same. The theories are the same, concepts are the same. Rigging and how they approach things can be a little bit different, but we cover that. And I think that's going to be valuable to anybody, anywhere.
Too cool. What else? What are some other aha moments, or even just good memories? I saw some of the pictures. I mean, nice pumps, big red drum. I mean, dang.
Yeah, it was incredible. That's the thing, is like, we set out after a target species each day, and it seemed like every time we went out to the beach, it was like we were almost fishing in a completely different place. And we did go to several different beaches. We fished in 2 different states. We fished, we had so many different conditions that were overlaid throughout this course filming that it was crazy how we felt like we really covered the scope. Like, I'll show you, I know that a lot of what we have just shown has been super clear water, but we also had, super calm water, but we also had, these days that were terrible, like crazy heavy surf, like Matt's having to throw those giant 5 and 6 ounce sinkers. And then we also had days where like the water just straight up wasn't clear. Like, it looks like it's not showing the right one here, but I'll find it here again. But we had days where we weren't fishing the clearest of clear water, or we weren't fishing, super calm surf. It was also about covering like different types of fishing conditions, not just fishing in super clear water, but all the different species and how you can adjust your tactics or which species prefer what. It was really interesting to see, because I guess one of the bigger aha moments for me was that I thought surf fishing was mainly just like a numbers game. I knew that the patterns of fish were that they're moving up the beach, you kind of spot what you can spot. But Matthew really showed me, like, for example, with redfish, you can really pick an area on the beach that it's like, there's going to be redfish here, and use a specific presentation in a specific spot and show that it can happen. You really have to think about what your target species is before you even pick which beach you're going to fish, because it all matters. And that to me was really cool to see that you can, like inshore fishing, and why I love inshore fishing so much is I can say, I'm going to go trout fishing today, or I'm going to go red fishing today, and have a kind of a plan and be focused on what you're going to be doing. To see that was incredible, but also to be opened up to new types of fishing, like walking the beach, which is what we did with those false albacore. That's not something I've ever really done. I've done it on jetties and stuff where you walk down, you got one rod. And I'll tell you a really funny story about that morning. We went looking for Spanish mackerel, which is, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to walk the beach with an artificial big casting spoon. And you're going to look for Spanish blowing up, or they're going to be showing themselves, which is another cool thing about beach fish. You can do a lot of sight fishing with it, believe it or not, because of the behaviors of those fish. But as we're walking down the beach, we found this brand new set of these really nice hookout pliers. You're going to see Matthew use them throughout the entire course. It was the second day of fishing, and they were really nice. Oh yeah, but we were kind of worried that morning because we weren't seeing a lot of activity, and we were like, man, the Spanish just might not be here. They ran through last week really well, Matt was saying. I was like, well, we should keep walking. We should give it the effort because they should be here. And we just kept walking, and we found these pliers. I was like, you know what, Matt, that's a good omen. That means you're going to have to use those today. And about 30 minutes later, we're like, all right, we'll give it 15 more minutes to walk in this beach and we're going to turn around. And as I'm saying that, a school of these bonita came and like blew up against the beach. Like you'll hear it in the video. Matt's like, oh, Wyatt just spotted a wad of fish. We were just walking down talking. It's like we had just found those hook out pliers, and these bonita show up. And then you'll see throughout the course, he's unhooking the bonita, he's unhooking the pompano, the redfish, all with these hook out pliers that we found just laying there. So hopefully you put those up on the wall as like a little trophy or something. But
we're using them.
yeah, that was really cool, was to be exposed to that different type of fishing, but also have those like little moments. And that's the other cool thing. You find a lot of cool stuff. We found a couple of really interesting items on the beach, but those hook outs, I remember saying like, that's a good omen. You're gonna need those today. That's why we found them.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome. Well, this is going to go live pretty soon, like coming up before you know it. There's as you can imagine with a course like this, it's what you guys were out there filming 5-6 days or ish, 5 days, wasn't it the full week?
I think we did, a full week of filming.
Heavy Monday through Friday. We did try a little bit on Saturday. We were pretty much done, but we were like, let's try this one more thing. But we spent a full 5 days.
And that's a lot of footage to go through, a lot of editing. And our goal, obviously, is to give it to you in as short amount of time as possible. I mean, the formula, like Wyatt mentioned, like we want to give you a formula or a system where you're going to be able to know, all right, I'm going to go to this type of area, this type of beach to fish for this kind of species. And here's the exact rig I need, versus having to wade through, hours and hours of YouTube videos to try to figure this stuff out. So it will be a formula. It will be a system, if you will. And we want to boil it down to everything you need and delete everything that you don't need. And so it is, it's probably, I don't know, terabytes worth of data. It's a lot. I'm certain it's probably multi-terabytes to get all that into one amazing course. It does take a little while, but our promise to you is it will be live Tuesday, May 31st. Our goal is, hey, let's get it done before June, because that's really when, surf fishing and people start taking vacations starts happening at June, July, August, all the way to Labor Day is kind of like a hot time across the country for surf/beach fishing. And so May 31st, it will be live. And of course, if you're listening to this and you're a Salt Strong fan, we'll be sending out an email to our people on our email list. And I know Bama Beach Bum will probably be going live on the YouTube channel, obviously doing some videos on it. And what we'll probably do, because this is what we normally do for those of you who have bought our courses before, is for some select amount of time, some days, sometimes it's a day, sometimes it's 2 days, sometimes it's a week, we don't know, but we'll do a 50% off. So it's all right if you're willing to take some action, if you will, and invest in yourself to just absolutely leapfrog all of your friends, right? And leapfrog like years and years of trial and error. We'll give it to you for 50% off. And like all of our courses, they come with 100% money back guarantee. So if you get through it and you feel like it wasn't absolutely amazing, we want it to be where you would pay 10x that. So if it was $100, if it's not $500 worth of value, then you don't pay. Literally send us an email. We'll give you all your money back. No questions asked for a whole year. That's how long we have it. So that'll be happening once again, Tuesday, May the 31st. And I'm looking forward to it big time. Just the reading the beach part. That alone is worth the price of admission, right? Because that's the toughest part. A lot of people, they have the rigs, and you don't have to buy all new tackle too. That's another big misconception, right, Matthew? You don't have to go out there and buy a 12-foot, surf casting rod. Like you can use the same stuff you're using already for just normal inshore fishing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's a lot of what we talk about is how close a lot of these species of fish are to the beach. And,
yep.
You learn that, that gear can make you more effective, but if you can fish with anything, you have bass gear, whatever. And, we cover how easy it is to, once you learn to read the beach and understand what you're looking at, to locate these fish and catch them 5-10 yards from your feet.
Yep. So this will be so simple. It will literally take years of trial and error off of your life. And I'm so pumped for you to see it. That drone stuff just gets me pumped up. And of course I saw the bonita one. That was awesome. Like that's crazy. You guys, it was a miraculous day, like or week. That's just nuts. 100% of the time you guys went out to film, you caught the target species. or upgraded.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah, and that's we going into this, we wanted to cover as much of beach fishing as we possibly could. So we had set days aside to go target specific species, and I think the way that it's going to be broken down, the organization, having each species with like the number one spot, the right way to target them, the best rig for them, and to go through like every facet. When I came to Matthew, this is like, I want this to be the surf fishing Bible. I want people to be able to look at this and not have any questions about surf or beach fishing after this. And I think it was really also a goal of mine that have this be the best mastery course we've ever published. And I feel pretty confident that this is going to be something revolutionary to teach people how to be successful with beach fishing.
Well, yeah, what I'm like the most proud of with what we put together for this is just the and you touched on this, Wyatt, but we fished so in that amount of time, we fished so many different beaches. None of them looked the same, and the conditions, in addition to that, that particular week that we were dealt with the clean water, the dirty water, the calm water at the beginning of the week, and then the winds pick up, and now we're having to surf fish in not ideal conditions. But that's what you're dealing with beach fishing a lot of the time. You have to know how to overcome that. So being able to teach through that and walk through that while we're there, and still like it still blows my mind. It's still actually catch fish and be successful. It just came together so well. And I'm just so proud to display. It's not like we're just on one beach and saying, hey, this is how you do this. I mean, we really give you as much as we humanly possibly could, examples of different things that you're going to see. And these structures and everything that we cover and talk about, you're going to see them in any part of the country, on any beach. I mean, it's no different. So, I mean, whether you're fishing the East Coast of Florida, in the Outer Banks, on the West Coast of Florida, does not matter. I've fished them all. I've seen all these same features. I can spot the same structures in any part of these countries, any part of the country, and you're going to have success if you can pinpoint those areas. I mean, I just can't express how just well it came together.
So pumped to see this. So hopefully you guys will be one of the first ones in, get that 50% off. We might even throw a couple gifts in. You never know. I'm sure there will be some bonuses and maybe even some lures we might throw in. We're looking at everything we have right now. So once again, Tuesday, May the 31st, be on the lookout. And if you have any questions, let us know. We'd love to hear any thoughts, or if you're, hey, did you guys cover this? We'd be glad to say, yes, we did, because we covered pretty much everything you think of. So let us know in the comments down below. Otherwise, stay tuned for the Beach Fishing Mastery launch. 50% off, at least that first day, guaranteed. We'll see how long we keep it up. And that'll be on Tuesday, May the 31st, last day of the month. So guys, we appreciate you. Bama Beach Bum, appreciate you, Wyatt. Glad you made it back safely, and safely made it back with all that footage. That always worries me. I was like, man, what if something happened to all these chips with all this?
We had a backup plan. I said, Matthew, if the plane goes down, you can tell Joe we backed it up on an external drive.
Love it. You guys are smart. You're all smart. Cool, guys. Appreciate you. Appreciate everyone. And we'll chat with you on the next episode. Peace. We out. Whoop, whoop.
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul.